Hi there. I'm looking at a topic that comes up about why monks aren't allowed to have possessions and money. So monks, and this is, I think, it's a Theravada tradition. So I don't know about Mahayana and others, but in the Theravada tradition, and taking it from the Pali Canon, where Buddha mentioned several times, is believed to have mentioned several times, that the only things that a person who takes up the monk's life are the robes they wear, needle and thread for mending those robes, a bowl for receiving food and eating food from, and lastly medicines. So that's it. So obviously no money. So I think one of the ideas is that if a person is stripped of all but the basic necessities, then there's less temptation for craving and clinging. So a person is free of all that worldly burden of money and possessions and such like. So it can be quite liberating. Poverty can be liberating, apart from the fact that it's not a very pleasant life on the street. But also, which I think is a very important point that Buddha does make, is that it means the monks or the sangha or the community is totally dependent upon the local townsfolk and villagers for sustenance and well-being. So monks can't grow food, store food, and must seek sustenance from the local people because of that. And that means, therefore, that the monks must be in sync, if that's the word, with the local people. If they become out of touch with the local people, then they won't get fed. And it's a very important connection to have, I think, because to go back in English history, in 1536, that's what, 500 years ago or so, they introduced what's called the Dissolution of the Monasteries Act. And although I know it's to do with Henry VIII splitting from the Catholic Church to the Protestant Church, but I think the monasteries, if you look around England, even after these monasteries were dissolved and sacked, the enormous wealth of the monasteries. I mean, basically, another reason I believe Henry VIII did this, it was to get hold of all the money held by the monasteries. So if you think from generation to generation, just money and possessions accumulate, so the monasteries became very rich. Now, ostensibly, this can't happen or shouldn't happen in the Buddhist world, because the Buddhist monks are not allowed to have possessions. So for the past 2,500 years, Buddhist monks have been dependent upon their local community and therefore have to be in touch with their local community. So I think that's a good reason as well why monks aren't allowed to have money and possessions. Anyway, thanks for watching.